What's happening, everybody? What's up, peoples? I know it's been a couple weeks since I posted. I had to take a hiatus. I've been live streaming on live.me. So go download the app. Go down the live.me app. Live.me app. Download it. Create a profile. It's free. And you can watch all my live streams because I've been live streaming. I felt like it was time to make a new video, man. I hadn't done it for YouTube in a while, so I said, I got some things I want to talk about. Man, I started the playlist, the relationship skills videos, and my last one caught a lot of controversy because I talked about getting together with an ex and all this stuff, and don't ever do that, man. Just don't do it. It's not a good look. Doesn't really work out. That's all I'm really going to speak about it. But this one, I did what do women want? And that one got some positive feedback. So now, I just want to speak about, in these videos, I really try to speak to men and women. But I can only really speak for most men now, because that's all I really know about is men. But I got some questions about relationship stuff. And I'm going to answer some questions now. I'm going to answer those questions now. One of the questions was, what do you do when you feel like you're putting in 100% into the relationship and trying to make it work, and trying to make it work? You're giving everything you got, but the other person isn't. Now, a lot of people would tell you that you just need to walk away, and it's not worth it, and all this stuff. But I say don't walk away right away. You never want to walk away from something right away, because it is a problem and an issue within our society now that 9 times out of 10 in a relationship, one person is giving 100% of themselves and another person isn't. So what I say to that is, you need to sit down with your significant other and have a conversation and get it all out on the table. This is how I feel. I feel like I'm putting in this amount, and I feel like you're not. So we need to figure out what's wrong with us so that we can fix the problem, or we can either go our separate ways. Either way, a conversation needs to be had before you just walk away from something. I always say you need to try and fight. If you want it to work, if you really, truly want it to work, you fight like hell for it. And then if it still doesn't turn out the way that you have intended, and things are still not to your liking, that is when you walk away. Other than that, you don't walk away. But if you've put in years and years and years of trying to make it work, and you keep coming across the same problems, and you've sat down and you've had these conversations, and 9 times out of 10 these conversations turn into full-on fights within couples, it's time to get something healthy, because that's just not healthy. And if your relationship that you're in isn't healthy, it's going to drag you down mentally, physically, and it can affect your health, because stress is a real killer, So that's that question, like, what do you do when somebody's not giving 110 or 100 and you're giving everything you got? Either you have that conversation, and if after that conversation things don't change, give it time, because people don't change overnight. But I'm not saying give it years. I'm saying you want to see some results. And if you see no results after that conversation, that's when it's time to walk away. It's okay to walk away from problems like that. Relationships, in your relationship, it's okay to walk away from a relationship if you feel like you are doing everything you can and they aren't. It's really okay. Okay? But have a conversation. Try and fight like hell to make it work. And if it don't work, it just don't work. It just doesn't work. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But only after you've exhausted every option of fighting for it, then you walk away. You don't walk away right away. What do you do? This is another question. What do you do if you've been in love with someone for a very, very long time, and you're in a relationship with them, and then you don't feel the love anymore? I can't really speak very much on that, but I'll say this. If you are in love with someone, or feel like you're in love with someone, and you are in a relationship with them, you're possibly married, I don't know what you are, but you don't feel the love anymore, then that means 9 times out of 10 that there was not true, honest to God, positive love there in the first place. It just wasn't. You can't sit there and say, well, I was in love with you and now I'm not, because you don't fall out of love overnight. Like, you don't wake up one morning in love and wake up the next morning not in love. If that happens, then there was no love there to begin with, and you need to walk away. You need to sit. Well, first you need to sit down again and have that conversation and say, listen, I don't think I genuinely 100% unconditionally love you. Unconditionally. This is what we're talking about. If you love someone, it's okay. It's okay to say I love you. It's okay, but you need to mean the I love you behind it. You don't just say I love you just to be saying I love you. You just need to mean it. But unconditional love is what we are all, whether you know it or not in your heart, striving for. This is what we strive for in a relationship. Unconditional love, where someone can love you unconditionally, no matter, they got to love you with the good, the bad, the ugly, the happy, the sad, all those times. Somebody's got to love you unconditionally no matter what the situation is. And if you're not feeling the reciprocated feelings of love, then you need to again sit down and have a conversation, because not everybody loves like you love. Nobody loves the same. You know, there are some people that love you, but they don't show it in traditional ways. And then there are some that do love you and they do show it in traditional ways. So you need to have a conversation and pinpoint what it is that you want out of that situation. And then if it's what you want, by all means fight like hell for it and stay in it. And if not, then again you got to walk away. You know. But I personally believe that there's somebody out there for everyone. I do firmly believe that. And like I've been around and I've been trust me, I've been in my fair share of good relationships and bad relationships. And the one that I ended, my last relationship was not a bad relationship by any means. It just, we were not right for each other. That's the only reason that we split. We were not right for each other. Now, will I say that we ended things great and perfect? And no, we didn't. But it's not, I have no hate towards her. She hopefully has no hate towards me. I mean, it just is what it is. We just didn't work out. So, anyway, back to what I was saying. You want to find someone who loves you unconditionally. And that's the biggest thing about being in a relationship. One of the questions was asked by, I think, a fan on Twitter. One of the questions was asked, how do you know that you have real love, that you really love somebody? And that's a good question, but it's also a loaded question, because I can only tell you how I feel when I know that I love somebody. And I have been down that road. I have been in love before. But the way that I feel whenever I know in my heart that I love someone, and a lot of people say different things. They say you feel the fireworks, you feel this, you feel that. I like to say that I feel, I don't even know what the right word is for it, man, for what I feel whenever I love somebody. It's joy, but it's, for me, it's a overly conscious, I love this person and I need to keep them, one, make them a priority, two, make sure they're safe and secure whenever they're with me, because, you know, things happen and you need to, you know, because when I'm out with just a random girl, like, those things don't go through my mind. Like, when you go out on a date, those things don't necessarily go through my mind. Yes, you need to make sure the lady's okay that's with you and stuff like that, but, like, when you love someone, there's nothing that you never go too far when you love somebody. Like, and I don't mean that in a bad way, like, in bad ways. I mean, like, when you love someone, and someone loves you, you can make them happy with the smallest of things. You can make them happy with a text message, a good night text message, a good morning text message. You can make them happy with a smile, or just, you know, bringing flowers, or those types of things. Like, you don't always have to buy something either. It's just gestures. When you love somebody, you go out of your way to make them happy, not just financially and with the big extravagance and all. You make them happy at home. Like, cook your lady dinner, fellas. Like, cook her dinner. Like, legit. Don't go out and spend a whole... Cook dinner. That's one of the sexiest things a guy can do for a woman, is cook dinner and then clean up afterwards. Clean up after herself. Women will love that. You know, things like that. If you're in a relationship and you have kids, take your kids. Fellas, take your kids for the day. There's something called, call it Daddy Day or something. Take the kids and you go do something with the kids and let your lady have the day off to go do something. You know? She needs her downtime too, just like we need our downtime to decompress. So when you love someone, you do these things. You fellas, come home at... I don't care how many hours you've worked a day. If you got downtime at home, spend some time with your lady. Spend some time with your family. If you got kids at home, spend some time. Plan out little things that you can do with your girl and with your kids, because we need more present, you know, male figures in kids' lives these days anyway. But make sure you make that time. When you love someone, you make that time. You don't, you know, they're not on a schedule. They're not, you can't pencil in your girl and your family. You have got to know that you can give 100% of yourself to this person, to your significant other, whether you be a male or a female. You have to know that you can give 100% of yourself whenever it calls. Because I know we all have lives. We all have to go to work. Some of us, some women are stay-at-home mothers, and they're at home all day, and they're taking care of the kids and the house and the, you know, and that's a hard job in itself. So I know life gets stressful and life gets in the way, but sometimes you got to push all that BS aside, and you've got to make that time to decompress and spend time with your significant other. That's a big problem, because I know I'm one of those guys that, like, I'm out, you know, when I'm not doing something work related, I'm out with my friends, my boys. We're out going and, you know, we're running and gunning. We're doing what we got to do. You know, you got to make that time to be present at home. Make that time to go take your family, go see a movie, take your kids, let them run around in the park, and you and your lady sit there on a bench and watch your kids and spend some time together, and just make time in the evenings. We're going into the fall evenings now. Sit out on your porch or whatever you have. You just sit out and be comfortable. Sit on your couch and watch Netflix and hold your lady. Guys, you've got to do these things. This is one of our huge problems in relationships now. There's no... When you hear the word intimacy, you immediately go to sex. That's where our minds go. Like, this generation, I don't know what the hell happened, but our minds immediately go to sex. When you hear intimacy, when you have an intimate setting with a woman or your significant other, You know, whether you be man or woman, it's not all about sexual stimulation. Sit down with your lady. Just hold her. Ask her how her day was. Talk to her. Listen to what she has to say and respond accordingly. These things go a long way when you love someone. I'm not saying if you don't do that, you don't love them. That's not what I'm saying. Don't get it twisted. What I'm saying is, when you love someone, you never go too far. You keep raising the bar for yourself and trying to, and meet that goal every time. I want to take my lady out for a nice weekend. I want to spend the weekend at home with just me and my girl and watch a movie and you know, I'm going to cook dinner for her tonight because I know it's been a stressful week and I'm a hard guy to live with. I know you know, I'm going to go run her a bath and let her have her decompress time. And me and the kids are going to go out in the yard and we're going to play, and she can sit back there and have a glass of wine, have a bubble bath. Take an hour and a half and just chill. Decompress, let me handle this out here. Come in. Guys, you got to come in. And I know this is hard because a lot of us work all day, but women work just as hard. Sometimes harder when they're stay-at-home moms. Because that's not an easy job to have. I've seen it firsthand. That is not an easy job. When you come home, if your lady cooks dinner for you, say, babe, I got the dishes. Don't worry about the dishes. Don't worry about the kitchen. I'll clean all that up. I'm going to take care of that right after we get done eating, okay? You go sit down, have you a drink or whatever, and watch TV or go read a book or have your quiet time to go chill out. Let me take care of the kitchen. Let me take care of the kids. You got to do these things, because if you don't, trust me, no matter if you love them or you don't, the stress is going to get to either one of you, and it's going to cause problems, and you do not want these problems. So, in short, these are the things that you need to do when you love someone, and how you know you love someone is just like I said. You want to make sure that that person is safe and secure at all times when they're with you. You want to make sure that that person feels that love that you have for them. You want to make sure that you make them happy as possible. And I'm not saying it's going to be all apple pie in the sky type stuff. You're going to have your arguments. You're going to have your disagreements. Those things happen. That's life. That's life in a relationship. But being able to admit that you're wrong, number one. A lot of people won't admit that they're wrong. Especially us guys, we don't like to admit that we're wrong. 2, apologizing, even when you're not wrong, is key. You don't ever want to be mad at somebody. You don't want to go to bed mad at somebody. You don't want that kind of stuff on you, man. You need to make sure that these people know that the people that you're with, the male or the female that you're with, or you know, your husband or your wife or your whatever, know that no matter what you go through, she needs to know, or you know, your husband or wife needs to know that 100%, whatever we go through together. Forget all the BS, forget all the nonsense. Our problems, we argue, we're going through it together. We're going to fix it together. And if you don't have that mentality, this is not going to work out for you. It ain't going to work out for you. So, I'm really talking to a lot of the guys here, but ladies, you can take from these two. It's not easy to be in a relationship. Anyway, like, relationships are not supposed to be easy. If they were easy, trust me, everybody would be happy. We wouldn't have the problems that we have. The domestic problems, we got domestic violence problems. We got all this stuff going on. And, like, it's just, my tripod's tripping. Messing up on me. But we wouldn't have all the problems we had if things were easy. Things are not easy. We go through trials and tribulations in our relationships. That's life, people. That's just life. There's nothing we can do to change that. It's just life. So, I got time for one more question. And one of the questions was, and it goes along with everything else, this is a ridiculous question. Like, it really is. And I touched on it a little bit with, what are some things you can do to show your significant other that you love them? And like I said, cook dinner, the little text message, it's just the little things, simple things. It can be so simple to show someone that you love them. You don't have to spend money. You don't have to, well, I mean, you may have to spend a little money, but you don't have to go out and do the extravagant, $200 dinners and all that, the whole night. No. Sometimes what your significant other needs to know that you love them is just simple stuff. Simple stuff. It's not rocket science. It's not an exact science, but it's not rocket science. What I feel works best is just simplicity. Especially for women. Women enjoy simplicity. Now, if you've messed up, I can't help you. If you've messed up and you got to drop some money on a purse or some shoes, don't argue and don't bitch about it, player, because you're fixing to have to do it. If you messed up and you know how we mess up, guys, we mess up every day, sometimes twice a day, twice on Sundays. You got to do it, but just to let them know you love them, man. It's not big stuff. It's just a simple text message, a simple look sometimes. It's just making that time and being there, being fully present in the relationship. See, the thing, phones have been a big problem. Phones are a big no. No. When you're spending time with your lady, or ladies, when you're spending time with your man, put the phone down. I don't care if you got to shut it off. I don't care if you got to leave it in another room. Put the phones down and just be with one another. Hold face-to-face, honest-to-God conversations. Don't sit there and be scrolling through Facebook or Twitter or whatever and say, oh, babe, look at this. Oh, yada, yada, look at this. No, that's not really connecting. You need to have honest-to-God, eye-to-eye, lock eyes, have a conversation. Show that person is number one in your world and nobody else, nobody else can take their place. That's what it means to be in love with someone. To love someone unconditionally and let them know. They need to know that they are irreplaceable in your life. There's nobody else you would rather be with. Nobody else you want to look at. Nobody else. That is the key. Make sure that you are present in that relationship. 100%. You have to be present. You can't be half in, 1 foot in, 1 foot out the door. You can't do that. That ain't going to work, and your relationship will not, and I repeat, will not survive. So if you're with somebody who's half in and half out, sit down, have a face-to-face conversation. If that doesn't go accordingly, the way you think it should go, then let me tell you something, people. You got to get up and you got to make those steps and you got to walk out and make that point that, listen, I'm worth more than what you are putting in. My time is worth more. I'm not looking to have fun. I'm not looking to goof around or play around. Now, if you're into that and that's what y'all are there for, and you both have made that agreement that, listen, we're just fooling around and we're just goofing around and we're having a good time, that's y'all. But if you want an honest-to-God, real relationship with someone, you cannot put down your self-worth. You are worth... sorry, my camera shut off on me. Anyway, you need to know that your self-worth is worth somebody putting in 100% of your time. You got to have your confidence up. You got to know that you love that person loves you unconditionally. It's the little things in life that you got to do. And guys, I hope this helped you out. I hope, my ramblings on this stuff and answer these questions, I hope this helps out somebody. So, you guys know I'm fixing to get up off here. Follow me on Twitter, Jerry Stafford41, Jerry Stafford417 on Instagram, Jerry Stafford536 on Snapchat. Get on live.me, Jerry Stafford on live.me, and follow the live streams. Thank you guys. You know, a day without laughter is a